Day 18. All right, ladies. Let me see if I can. Shucks. Let me see if I can turn this on. Yeah, here I am. God knew for me to wear this shirt today to say love, and that's all I got to say. Day 18, I'm going to share my screen. I want to make sure you guys see that. Again, my apologies. It is 6:04 already. Let's do Tisha. I always go to hers to get that PDF. Did everyone get the PDF copy of Father Wounds?
Yes.
Everyone? Okay.
Yes,
good.
thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
And I want to tell you, as one of my things that I'm working on, show yourself some grace, Fonda. It's okay.
Thank you.
We all have bad days. You've been on time every day, so one day is not a bad day.
Yeah,
And you was even here for your vacation. A lot of commitment. I probably would have been able to do it, but you didn't.
Well, thanks for that,
Exactly.
y'all. I just have so much respect for people's time, you know. So you're right. I'm gonna show myself some grace. Thank you for that, Kelly and Angel. Thanks. Okay, so 18 is an extension of building healthy relationships. What the title is supposed to be, I do not know, y'all. So I do apologize for that. But it's still building. We're still talking about building healthy relationships, but it's gonna be more so in terms of like finding, you know, we talk, if you've ever heard, so everybody haven't heard this, but you've heard people say something like finding your tribe or finding your people, finding like-minded people, connecting with mentors and different things like that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, let's start off with our daily affirmation. We're going to write I am healed 3 times and give 3 ways in which we will ensure that we're going to heal today. Okay, you can do this in your ebook, in your journal, or on a index card. Okay,
just to let you know, Brenda, you're not sharing yet. It didn't start yet.
It didn't. So y'all just see me?
Yeah, we did see you.
Okay, let's try again. Literally, it is up. I don't know. I'm sorry. I got my computer back. Thank God. So I'm gonna start back using my computer for the last 3 days. So let's try it again. Thank you, Kelly. Okay, let's see.
No problem.
Okay, because I was just about to get to talking. You must already knew. Okay, now you see this?
Yep, we see your screen now.
Okay. Let's go here. Okay. Okay. And we are on day 18. All right. We're going to write I am healed 3 times and 3 things we're going to do to ensure our healing today. Okay, I wrote mine earlier today because I needed to sit down and do that. I had to pause my day. So mine is, what did I do with it though? Yep, I got it. So I'm going to give everyone else 3 minutes. Yep, the 23rd. It's right here, baby. I needed it today. Yep. But I'm going to write it in my ebook. I wrote it on the card. Day 18 was supposed to be finding positive role models. That's what the title should have been. Darn. Okay. Does anyone need any additional time with your affirmation? No. Okay. Finding positive role models can be a great source of inspiration and guidance. They can embody the qualities you admire and strive to develop. Here's how you can find role models. Number 1, identify qualities you admire. Think about the qualities you want to develop. It could be resilience, kindness, creativity, leadership, or anything else you value. Number 2, look around you. Role models can be people in your everyday life. They could be friends, family members, teachers, or colleagues who embody the qualities you admire. 3, find public figures. Public figures, whether they're in the arts, sciences, and politics, or other fields, can also be role models. Look for people whose work and values inspire you. You know, sometimes a lot of people have a problem with number 3 for various reasons. You know, people that are in the spotlight. Some people are very extreme in which they be like, oh, you're not supposed to idolize anyone. Because you appreciate or you admire someone does not mean you idolize them. Because you like something.
Brenda.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can you go to stand up? I left my stuff at home today. I'm out taking my kids to practice.
You want me to repeat it?
No, I'm just scrolling the screen up so I can see what the next
Oh, move it up. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so for number 3, defining public figures, yeah, some people have, you know, issues with that. I don't. It's a lot of people in different fields that I absolutely admire. I look up to, I respect them so to the point where I pray for them. And a lot of them don't even know who I am. Okay. Number 4, read. Books, biographies, and articles can introduce you to potential role models. Look for stories about people who have faced challenges and demonstrated the qualities you admire. And then 5, connect. If possible, try to connect with your role models. You can reach out to them, follow their work, or attend events where they're speaking. Okay? Again, this particular part of healing is very important because it's a part of what I was trying to get with this is as you heal, you may be able to discover other parts of yourself, or you may feel like you've been like stuck. Even like, you know, when you're not healed, you could be stuck, you know, in your career. You could be stuck like knowing you have a gift and just kind of feel stuck with it. Sometimes you feel stuck when you are a very creative person and maybe something may be blocking you. Reaching out or finding people that you admire to look up to and kind of seeing their work and seeing their attributes can help you with that. So as you heal, you are becoming yourself in a sense. Do you ladies understand what I'm trying to connect the whole role model piece to? And why it's important to your healing? Does anyone have any questions about that?
No, we were very clear. I think it's very good. Your pastor was one person that I admired before I even knew that you attended the church. I just love the qualities that he had, and I gravitated to him. So I understand exactly what you're saying.
Okay. I know sometimes I try to balance when it comes to healing, some people, especially, and I'm gonna say this because a lot of you guys, not necessarily everybody, but a lot of us are in the church, or may have even been like leaders in churches, and so everything is church, church, church. We live in a world. We're a part of the world, and so sometimes, and I've had individual sessions with people in groups where sometimes people just could not. Like you going out, like at this day, you ain't no scripture attached to that. They wasn't hearing me, and I'm like, well, y'all gotta go find somebody else to do that. Like I'm a balanced person, so I just wanted to make sure. And if you had any questions about it, or you need it like a little bit more connecting, let me know. Because sometimes we don't hear it that way. If we're a part of the church, that's all we hear. So I wanted to be clear that when it comes to healing, we're talking about all aspects of your life. That includes careers, your dreams. Yes, ministry, but you want to do some things that's outside of the church that's going to draw people who may not be of your religion or your background. Okay? So that was the point of it, and I wanted to make sure you guys understood my heart. Now, if somebody just doing this on their own, they may not get it. So I wanted to make sure you guys understood my heart when I chose to do this for this day. All right. Does anyone have any questions or comments about that? Okay. Remember a role model.
I'm sorry, Miss Brenda. I didn't really get to hear it because I was allowing a friend to leave out the house.
Okay, I'm recording. I'm recording it, so I can make sure this is in that, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure when I record and send it to Casey, I'll send it to you.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay. Remember, a role model is not someone to be copied exactly, but someone who inspires you to be the best version of yourself. Okay. So for today, what I want I want us to write a letter to. Some of us have mentors. I have a handful of them. I have several, and then I have some that's just for different seasons of my life. We were super close. I still love them. They still love me, but we may not be as close. But you can write a letter to your mentor, a past or current one. If you do not currently have a mentor, write a letter to someone that you would love to mentor you. It could be anybody. It doesn't have to be, it could be anybody. We just talked about the different, people that you might admire. You may have never met them before. You may have read their books. So if you don't have an actual mentor or you have not had one in the past, you can write a letter to your future mentor or someone, you would like to, who you would like to be a mentor to you. Or if you don't necessarily have someone, you can write a letter to the type of person that you would like to mentor you. You get what I'm saying? So I wanted to everybody to be included when we're writing this letter. So it could be a mentor that was in your past, a current mentor, someone that you would love to mentor you, or if you just don't have anyone, if you don't have anyone in mind to mentor you, just a thought of, I may want someone who, a woman that's a little bit older, that's a little bit more like nurturing, mothering, or someone in business. I'm sure you've thought about it. Or you sat around and said, okay, I wish I had a person like this in my life. So we're writing a letter today to that person, whoever that person is to you, or whoever you would like that person to be, so to speak. Okay? Does anyone need any clarity about that? No? Okay, I'm going to give us 7 minutes, and I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Hold up.
What are we saying to them?
Whatever you would want to say to a mentor. Do you understand?
Okay.
Do you understand? Do you understand what a mentor is? You need me to explain that part?
No, somebody that mentors you.
Yeah. Like, do you know what a mentor is?
They pour into you.
Yeah. So somebody like that.
Okay.
Okay, so like in a sense, you talked about like spiritual daughters. You in a sense are a mentor to them. So somebody that you would like to mentor you.
Okay.
Yep. And you say whatever. Say what you need from them or what you would like. So you're just talking to that person. If you have one, and if you don't, you're just talking to what that person, as if I would love for you to be my mentor. However you want to, use your words to say. Uh-oh, I almost hit the wrong button, yeah. I'm on mute. I wasn't on mute, child. I'm on now. Okay, who am I writing this to? Dear, who would I write this to? I had a few of them. Off the green. Oh, right there. What did you knock over? Oh, I'm recording this. I'm on mute, but I'm recording because Casey not here. Okay. So, but
yeah, no, I was on it upstairs.
What?
My phone. I was going to the thing to get a paper plate.
Oh, it was a broom or something?
Yeah,
okay, I'm jumping.
I didn't know it was right there.
This to you several times. But energy, your coaching, your teaching, and most of all, believing in me. Start February, March. My life is truly changed for the better. How many minutes was that?
That's 4.
Okay. How many more you got?
Hmm?
How many more minutes you got?
I just have 44 seconds left.
Okay, good. Okay.
But yeah, no, I purposely did it to where it wouldn't be nowhere near 7 minutes.
Gotcha. Okay. Let me take this picture of this. Y'all, I'm logged into my computer.
Yay, girl! When I went upstairs to say get on my session, I said a prayer.
Thank
I said,
you.
Lord,
It was just, I just have to stop and breathe.
I said, Lord, please.
He walked me through. It was a guy named Ben on Apple Care. Just breathe.
Please, she just get it back. And I know what it's like. You're already overstimulated and irritated.
And that was it. That was it. Today was just, whew, you just showed me. I need to just work on my responses when I'm triggered. That's all. I really do. Because I was so triggered today. In so many ways. So, that's all. I need to work on it.
Unnecessarily. What you gonna trigger? You didn't bring somebody that's like, no accountability. And it's properly consistently.
Let me chop it now. Be able to get through half of this. Oh, yeah, 9 is kind of long. Okay, we'll get through half of this. And we not quite need the whole book. Okay, ladies, do anyone need any additional time?
Just a little.
Okay, so you keep on writing, okay? Does anyone want to share your thoughts after writing to your current or past mentor or someone that you would like to mentor you? You have any thoughts about that? Sorry, I really need to retighten my hair, babe.
I can share while others are still writing. My mentor, and she's right there in Gary. She's from Chicago, but my mentor is my spiritual mother. And I know, that's my mentor. I know you were saying, well, that's not necessarily always in the church, and I'm not saying.
Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine if they're in the church.
Right, I know you're not saying it's a rule of thumb, but one of the reasons I wrote this letter to her is because I am currently in seminary to become a pastor. And so when I was looking for someone to mentor me and to guide me, and although my pastors are my aunt and uncle, sometimes you cannot get what you need from family when it comes to ministry because they don't see the ministry side of you. They remember the child you or the other things of you. And so it's hard to separate the two. But when I kept praying, I asked God to send a mentor and someone to guide me in the right direction. I thought it was going to be other people, and then I met her. And she's an author. I met her, and I fell in love with her books, and I heard God told me to ask her to mentor me, and I asked her. And she told me, and I told her, just pray on it and let me know. And she said, I like to pray on it. It's something that God put in my heart for me to do. That's the assignment that He put on my life. So you were right by asking me because that is the gift that I have. And from that moment on, not just my spiritual life has grown, but me as a woman has grown. And I see things in life in a different light because she has entered my life. So
that's the power.
I truly thank God for her.
Yes, that's the power of mentorship.
Because she's a great person.
Yeah.
I feel, and I wrote in my letter, I'm not admitting defeat that she's always right, but I know, like as the Bible says, who God loves, He chases, and He corrects. And so I know when she does correct me, she's doing it out of love and not from a place of hurt. So, but I'm going to tell her I ain't admitting defeat. She still ain't always right, but yeah, I just thank God for a great mentor.
Yes, that's a blessing. Thank you so much for sharing, Kelly. Anyone else want to share? little shaky, child. And now, I'm just waiting just in case. Sometimes I can't get off mute fast enough.
I was just doing my last finishing touches. Okay. I said, precious jewel, I've admired and respected you for years and always seen the glow within you. You're an ambassador, innovator, treasure keeper, and phenomenal woman. One of the reasons why I desire to be mentored by you is because of your fire that ignites your heart posture and your willingness to see others free. The legacy stature for those that are purpose driven, you're definitely one who will go to battle with that individual. God has ransomed you to pour into those who are overcomers, who sacrifice for others to win. You're so amazing. As you're mentoring me, I will always listen, apply, and resonate the wisdom that our Father has poured into you. Continue receiving the Esther Deborah anointing to guide me.
You are such a great writer. I know you wrote a book. You know, you're an author, but you can write. Annette, you really, I think you just, I don't think you give yourself enough credit. I think you write so well. I really do. I think you write so well. That was great. That was like, shoot. You know, like, I think anybody would love to get a letter like that. So thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it. Before I start reading, does anyone else want to share? I know some of you might be out. I know Angel's getting ready, so. But I don't want to leave nobody out. No? Okay. So we're going to start with chapter 9. And then before we do that, I want to thank you ladies again for yesterday, for allowing time for Angel to express what was going on with her and then giving her advice. So thanks. And if you just came on, you know, Angel,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, Angel's so getting ready.
I'm on my way there right now, y'all.
She's getting ready.
Brenda, I'm going to text you about it. Well, I guess I can update everybody just tomorrow then.
Yeah, but you can text me because I'm going to text you. I'm going to text you. Okay. All right. The chapter 9 is my relationships, connecting from shaky ground. My focus on hiding my shameful bits influenced how I moved through the world and how I showed up in relationships. I never felt like I deserved to be there, receiving whatever attention or regard I was getting from my friends. I always felt less than. My relationship with my mom taught me that relationships feel lonely. Since she couldn't see me as a separate person, we had no chance for true connection. There wasn't much connection in our family either. I felt lonely there too. We weren't a tribe. We were 4 people who lived together, getting through life next to each other. We did not feel close, bonded, or interested in each other. There was no sense of community. I have always yearned for connection and belonging. I feel it in other families. I saw it on TV and I read about it in books. When you belong, you don't have to worry about whether you were acceptable. When you belonged, you were given the irrevocable stamp of approval. When you belonged, you weren't doing life alone. You had a team behind you. You were important to them and an important part of something. You could relax. I wanted that feeling. When I was little, I had a friend group at school. I belonged without trying, except for the bullying hiccup. I had friends to hang out with on weekends when someone's parent was willing to drive us to the other person's house. We were very young, so these weren't deep relationships, but they made me feel connected. As we got older, I found myself no longer in the group. By middle school, they had moved on. They had all started defining themselves and finding solid ground. I had not. I was still focused on not rocking any boats. They all tried out for sports and became athletes. They formed a new tribe. I hadn't even known about tryouts. I felt left out and left behind. As much as I wanted to be a part of a tribe, I became a person who had one best friend at a time, a serial platonic monogamist. I met my first singular best friend in 6th grade swimming class. We were sitting next to each other on the bleachers in our school issued red swimsuits, and we awkwardly introduced ourselves. We drifted apart after a year or two. Then I had 3 more singular best friends in succession. For a few glorious months, 3 of us briefly formed a tribe. Then the other 2 joined the drinking and partying crowd and became much closer to each other, and I went back to my friend from swimming class. She didn't drink. I couldn't stay close with anyone who drank. They felt unsafe, and I felt too vulnerable. My mom's alcoholism had conditioned me to feel betrayed by anyone who drank, who in my mind shouldn't. Because my friends were underage, my traumatized brain automatically read them as untrustworthy as soon as they picked up a beer. More loss, more loneliness. My friendships in middle school and high school were sparser than I had hoped. But they were fun while they lasted. Fun didn't happen at home. It had been a foreign experience except for very small doses. So when it became a regular part of my life through friends, it always felt special. My friends and I did the usual friend thing. We swam, we watched scary movies, we choreographed dance routines to Madonna songs, but none of it felt usual to me. Sharing pure fun with someone was magical. Laughing together till we were gasping for air, singing to music videos, crushing on the same boys. I saw the same feelings I was experiencing reflected in their faces. Shared, joyful feelings. I couldn't get over it. Someone who had chosen to spend time with me felt like the same. Someone who had chosen to spend time with me felt the same things I was feeling. It was all new. It was all profound. Shared experiences with friends felt almost too good to be true. To have such an important person reflect the world back to me, just as I saw it, delighted me. I felt giddy and delight. Those shared experiences brought me the relief of validation and the solidarity of true connection, and they felt like absolute magic. Because of what my friends reflected back to me, I could trust what I was feeling in those moments. I began to feel a little more certain about my own perceptions. I started to feel more or some little bits of trust in myself. Our shared experiences helped me form some solid ground to stand on. With my friends, I could let go a little and be more myself. I was still guarded, but I could be more silly and emotionally open. And they still liked me. In fact, they seemed to like me even more when I was more myself. My friends wanted to spend time with me. They gave me a warm feeling I didn't experience at home. Not because my parents were horrible people. They just didn't know how to make me feel like I mattered more than my prizes. It was so different being with someone who clearly chose to be with me and enjoyed spending time with me. I wasn't dodging shame arrows with my friends. They made me feel interesting and fun. I felt wanted. I felt like I mattered. Me, not my prizes. That was powerful. Being a best friend felt safe. I thought I must be worthy if someone called me their best friend. It was proof that I was finally chosen, claimed even. I belonged to them and they belonged to me. I didn't have to think so much about how to be impressive or win prizes. I could just be, and I could trust that I was enough. Belonging to a person and belonging to a community offers similar reassurance. Though I didn't find community in a friend group, I did find community twice in my early life. In very I don't know what that is. Desperate. It's not desperate, but desperate places. First, through cheerleading. In 8th grade, my best friend asked me to try out for cheerleading with her so she didn't have to do it alone. I didn't know a thing about cheerleading or have much interest in being a cheerleader, but I agreed to do it to support my friend. She made the junior varsity team. I made varsity. I was surprised to find that I absolutely loved it. I cheered for all 4 years of high school and half of college. Cheerleading gave me a sense of myself I never had before. For the first time ever, I was part of a team. I was a member of a whole group of people who accepted me as part of their own. I belonged. The sense of community came from our common purpose and our common love of what we were doing. We counted on each other. We showed up for each other. We liked each other. We had group stories and group jokes. It was the best. For someone who had been alone and inside of her own head for so much of life, this was an extraordinary feeling. It was bright and alive and joyful. It was connection to something bigger than me. It made me feel confident. I didn't have to tamp myself down to be accepted or ramp. I'm sorry. I didn't have to ramp. That looked like a T. Ramp myself down to be accepted. I got to be expressive and passionate and playful and important and dance and belong all at the same time. Cheerleading was the opposite of home. I was most myself when I was with my team. During my senior year of high school, I had a tradition at the start of every football game when all the cheerleaders were in place. I danced down the line from one end to the other singing George Michael's Faith to my teammates. I love that song. Not for the words, but for the upbeat, make you dance-ness of it. As I sang and grooved with a huge smile on my face, I shared my hyped up happiness and silliness with my friends. It was fun and made everyone laugh and was just for us. Cheerleading brought down some of my walls, at least temporarily. Perhaps in stark contrast, the other place I found community was the Catholic Church. I had grown up without any knowledge of religion. I knew churches existed, but I didn't know what went on inside them. I was not aware of God or this Jesus guy until I spent time with Teresa, the neighbor who made spaghetti sauce and eventually moved to Spain. All of her coloring books were about Bible stories. When I was 6, she told me about Jesus being crucified and that my mom was going to hell because her hair was was so short. For years, that was the extent of what I knew about religion. It didn't sound great. In 9th grade, I wrote a paper about my grief over my young neighbor's death, and I spelled God with the lower G. My English teacher corrected it with the capital G, noting that it was a proper noun. This totally confused me. I had thought God was more of a concept for debate than a person. My understanding of religion developed a little more in high school. I went to my first bar mitzvah and I dated a boy whose family was very Catholic. I started going to church with them. I didn't understand what I liked so much about it because I disagreed with so much of the doctrine and wasn't sure I even believed in God. But in retrospect, the sense of community compelled me to keep attending. The shared experiences, the most shared perspectives, the rituals, the deliberate coming together to connect. This was what I was missing with my family. It felt good to be a part of it. Though I eventually broke up with the guy, I kept the community before being baptized a few years later. I talked with the priest about my disagreements with the doctrine and my uncertainty about God. He told me that none of it was a problem. I was a devoted Catholic for a few more years after that. At some point, I realized I was in it for the wrong reasons. I was using church as a way to feel good about myself, following rules and being impressive in my devotion. Once I caught myself judging people who didn't go to church regularly, I left. That community no longer felt good for me. All of these relationships assured me that I wanted and liked and that I was wanted and liked and worthy of belonging. The assurance and reassurance helped me become more willing to expose some of my authentic bits, like silliness, enthusiasm, expressiveness, opinions. When people responded well, I wanted to show more of myself. I opened myself up where I could, and my friendships became richer for it. I still hid a lot. I never talked to my friends about my mother's alcoholism. It was evident, but it was so shameful to acknowledge because I still assumed it meant something about me. I did not lean on people for help of any kind, especially emotional help. I still thought needs and imperfections were shameful and should be hidden. I was afraid that sharing any of my most vulnerable bits would be grounds for rejection. I also had some level of guard up because I was so certain that at my core, I wasn't enough. I had no idea how to be fully authentic until one moment in my first year of grad school. My new classmate and I were sitting at a picnic table in North Philadelphia, eating lunch between classes. Annie was a matter of fact, what you see is what you get person. Her baggage was handled. I haven't seen her in a while, over a decade, but she is still one of my favorite people. Though I didn't know her well yet, I could tell even then that she was a different sort of person. She was transparent and solid and talked about real things. She was way more evolved than I was. That day at the picnic table, I exposed my shame. As we ate our food truck lunches, we told each other about ourselves and our backgrounds. Annie talked about her boyfriend, her experience as a swimmer in college, her sister, her parents. I talked about my boyfriend, the research I had done for the past couple years, and my family. After telling her that I grew up about an hour west of the campus, I said that my mom was an alcoholic. I hadn't planned to say it, but in that moment, it felt like an important enough part of my story to take the risk. Annie was being real, and I felt safe enough with her to be real back. I told her that my mother's drinking and the pain it caused had been omnipresent in my childhood. I told her that I was still deeply hurt by it, even though my mom had been sober for a few years. Outside of 3 boyfriends, Annie was the first person I told any of this to. I had thought my mom's alcoholism was the only source of my shame, but in that moment I realized I was also terrified of being judged as weak because I allowed my mom's alcoholism to still hurt me. That was the part I had no control over. That was the part that was actually mine to own, and I was failing at it. I should be over this, right? I had never exposed my shame so vulnerably. Annie immediately accepted my reality. I had feared I could be seen as exaggerating, too sensitive, making mountains out of pebbles. But she looked at me with clear concern and care in her eyes and said, "That must have been terrible. It would be so hard not to have a mom you can lean on." She focused on seeing me and understanding my experience. There was not a whiff of shame or judgment. That was the moment my healing began. That was the moment I learned that I was fundamentally acceptable. That was the moment I started to become the person I am still becoming. I will never forget. I will never forget it. There is nothing quick about becoming. I am by nature a person who does not rush into anything. After my lunch with Annie, I didn't suddenly expose all of my imperfections to everyone I met. I didn't suddenly stop feeling all the shame. I didn't suddenly feel acceptable, but I could see a path towards wholeness for the first time. I could see the possibility. I continue to show more of my deep self to my closest friends, slowly and carefully exposing parts that I worried were shameful. I opened up to more people about being the child of an alcoholic. I started talking to friends about my relationship with my boyfriend, including the unflattering parts. I cried in front of a friend for the first time. I started apologizing when I hurt someone or crossed a boundary. All of it was accepted. I was more deeply accepted the more I opened up. The more I opened up, the more acceptance I developed for myself. It became a reinforcing cycle, slow but reinforcing. I started therapy during my second year of grad school. I went not because I understood that I needed healing, but because I thought I should know what it feels like to be a patient if I was going to be a therapist. My first therapist started me on the long path of understanding the role my mom's drinking played in my life. It solidified for me that my mom's drinking was a legitimate issue. I started accepting that it was valid to have feelings about my mom's alcoholism. I learned that it was valid to feel needy when my needs aren't getting met. I learned that all of my feelings made sense. That helped me start, I know this word, ratching. I don't know what that is. Down the shame. Racketeering. I don't know what that is. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't selfish. I was a human. Having human reactions to a hard situation. I didn't learn what to do with my pain with that therapist, but I learned it was valid. All of this helped me build more solid ground under my feet. Self-compassion began to make brief appearances in my life. Once I learned that it was okay and understandable to feel all of my big feelings about my mom, I was able to be kinder to myself about them. Eventually, I was able to be kinder to myself about my failures and imperfections too. Once I understood they were apparently an expected part of being human. I learned some of this from therapy, but mostly from watching my friends be open about their mistakes and imperfections. In grad school, a lot of my peers had more self-acceptance than I did. Witnessing them live their lives without asking for anyone's permission helped me to see what was possible. It kickstarted the process of accepting that my imperfections did not make me shameful or unloved. I started considering that my beliefs about who I should be might be wrong. None of this happened overnight. The lunch with Annie was 26 years ago, and I'm still a work in progress. When you accept yourself, your inner critic has no leverage. She has no way of shaming you. Self-acceptance is the opposite of shame. There is no reason to hide. No one has any say about your worth. Being open with others becomes much less scary the more your self-acceptance grows. As I opened myself up, my interpersonal world opened up too. People didn't scorn me as I assumed they would if I were just walking around as myself. They mostly just engaged with me like I was a regular person, not less than. But I still had to remind myself to show up as if I am as good as everyone else in the room. Sometimes even with my closest friends. When I do, people treat me like I am good enough. Imagine that. The friendships I formed in my 30s and 40s were rooted, connected friendships even the ones that have ended. At this point in my life, I belong to very wonderful group of friends. These people see me. I let them see me. I've been open enough and or they've witnessed me living authentically for long enough that they know me. My friends know that I'm very anxious if I'm late for anything. They know that I am not super capable of being loosey-goosey or go with the flow, though I try. They know my insecure spots and they still like me. They care about me. They respect me and treat me as if I am significant. They treat me like I bring something worthy and interesting to the table. They have supported me with their actions and words, and I trust that they will continue to. I'm starting to accept that this might be a thing. I might actually be someone who people generally enjoy being around. And I'm going to stop there. I'm on page 144 at the bottom. And we will finish a little bit longer. We may. I think we can get through it tomorrow. I think we can finish it tomorrow. Okay, does anyone, before we go, does anyone have any, want to respond to anything that I read, specifically about Suzanne developing friendships and relationships and the importance of them, which really coincided with our lesson yesterday and then somewhat today.
Yeah, can I say something really quickly?
Yep.
I think I was more so intrigued. I mean, like, I've seen it in my own life, but it was intriguing to hear how our traumas, unresolved or like traumas that we have like an awareness of, how it shows up and like how we function relationally. Like, there was a specific part where she was talking about I think peers that were like engaging in underage drinking, and how at that moment it registered to her that they were like unsafe.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like it was interesting to see like her correlation and like one decision that was an unwise decision, how that immediately went to the drastic end of the spectrum of registering people as like being unsafe as a byproduct of the trauma that she's experienced with her mother. And it made me really sit and reflect on the ways in which, like, how I actively still engage in that practice, like making,
I think we all do,
quick critical judgments as a byproduct of like trauma that I'm still processing through, or trauma that's been suppressed.
Yeah, I think we all do. Unconsciously, we do that. Because I found myself doing the same thing. But then when you're able to be reflective about it, then you find, you careful and be like, okay, wait a minute. Let me give this person, a chance. I'm triggered by something else and I'm judging them off of, like you said, my own trauma. So, I still do it, but I'm very self-reflective. I used to, in college, baby, I was the worst. I don't even understand. My friends who still my friends, well, I've evolved. But in college, I was, you talking about judgmental. And it was all tied to my trauma. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting, too. I just like the how we're now seeing her remodeling her life, and how she's healing. Like, we when she took us through all of the trauma, right? And the history of it and this and that, and then now we're getting into her healing process. And so that's what I'm enjoying about the book. Anyone else before we log off? I had something and I lost it, y'all. I'm sorry if you see me looking around. I don't know what I did with it. No. All right then, ladies. Tomorrow is day 19. We are counting down. Annette, I'm going to send you that list, or with the directions, for you to find a therapist. So I'm going to send that to you tomorrow morning. Okay?
Okay, Brenda, I'm going to reach out to you about helping me You said it was a program that could help me?
Oh yeah,
Because,
there were like if you some of it is like was at one time super free, and I mean super free. Now it's just kind of like, you know, based on income, based on situations. It's not just a sliding scale, but it's literally like there are stipends or something. I got the information, so reach out. I got it. I got it from someone else, but I got the information and I can forward it to you. Okay, it is like first come first serve basis. So I give it to you in your area. Just kind of go for it.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alrighty. Have a good night, everyone.
Yes. Oh, here it is. Have a great night. I'll see you ladies tomorrow.
Wow.
I found it. Child, I thought I lost that, baby. Okay.